Boys and girls, if you remember, I worked with you a couple weeks ago. Well, I'm going to be working with you again today. And yesterday, I remember that you guys, I was told that you guys took a test and you did very well on your test. So we're kind of going to talk about that, and we're going to talk about some new stuff. We learned about solids, liquids, and gas. And today we're going to learn about matter, okay? Can somebody tell me what a solid is? Does anybody know? What is a solid?
A solid is something that has its own shape.
Has its own shape. And Kayla, can you tell me what a liquid is?
A liquid is like orange juice.
That's exactly right. And I'm glad that you said that about orange juice, because in your science book on page 125, there's a picture of orange juice. Is orange juice a solid, a liquid, or a gas? Yes? It is a liquid. Now, for instance, when you have a orange like this, it is not a liquid. What is it, Dominic? It is a solid. That is correct. But when you do what to it, it becomes a liquid. Jacob? You can bite into it or you can cut into it. And then if you squeeze it, it becomes a liquid. Right, it becomes orange juice. Okay, we're going to turn to page 126, the next page. Actually 127. And it says, how does matter change? Okay, and we're going to have vocabulary lessons to go with that. But as you look at page 127, you see a lady and it looks like she's chiseling or cutting something. Can somebody tell me what you think she's doing? Yes?
She's like making ice people.
Yeah, she could be doing that. Now, is that what she's doing now? Is that a solid, a liquid, or a gas? What is she doing now, Olivia? She's cutting, but it's a solid. It looks like a big piece of ice, right? But if it were to melt, then it would become a what?
Liquid.
A liquid, correct. So, it says here, I'm going to read this to you, and maybe you can help me by giving me the answers. How does the artist make this sculpture? She blank water and then blank the ice. What do you think she did? She did what to the water? She froze or she freezes the water. We can write freezes. If you need help with the spelling, I'm writing it up on here for you. She freezes water and then blank the ice. What is she doing to the ice? It's not with a pair of scissors, but she has like a kind of like a fork or some hard instrument to do what to the ice?
Sculpted?
It could be sculpted, but how about cuts? She cuts the ice. So she freezes water and then cuts the ice. She has to be some kind of artist in order to do that, right? To make pretty sculptures like that. I bet it's cold there too. Okay, what I want you guys to do now is go through the book, and you're going to see some vocabulary words. There's going to be 4 vocabulary words. And I remember last lesson, I worked with you guys, and how did we know the vocabulary words? What were they? Remember, we talked about it. Ah, that's perfect. They were highlighted words. Jacob, why do you think the words were highlighted? They're important. So we're going to go through the book, and we're going to write the 4 vocabulary words. Okay, I want you to spend a minute. Go ahead and do that. Look through your chapter and write down the 4 vocabulary words. Okay, boys and girls, raise your hand if you found the 4 vocabulary words. Ooh, you are quick. Good job. Okay, can somebody tell me one of the vocabulary words? Kind of giving you a hint by putting it up there. Yes, Olivia. Freezes, yes, freezes. Can somebody tell me another one? Yes?
Burning.
Burning is another one, yes? Kayla? Melts, that's 3, and we need one more. Well, yeah, that's a hard one to pronounce. Dissolves, and we'll talk about that in a minute. So we should have those 4 words in our book. Make sure we wrote them down if we haven't found that yet. Okay, we're going to turn the page to page 128. And I see that it says deep freeze on there. And I remember once again we talked about informational text. And those words deep freeze, what is that? Deep freeze, what is that up there? Yes. It could be a headline or a title. That's exactly right, Olivia. Deep freeze is the title. And it says, think about making juice pops. You put juice in a freezer, the juice freezes or turns from a liquid to a solid. You take the solid juice pops out of the freezer and they melt or change to a liquid. Like this.
You're on the right page.
I have an ice cream sandwich. Instead of an ice pop, we have ice cream sandwiches. If we were to keep this out, it would melt, right? Because it's solid. It would turn into a liquid if we were to keep it out too long. So I'm going to put it back in the freezer. Okay. So, if I want to highlight or further help us remember the vocabulary words, what can I do to the word freezes? Jacob? You could circle it. So why don't we go ahead and circle the word freezes? And can somebody tell me what the definition of the word freezes is? I'll give you a hint. It's right there in the book. Yes? If something freezes, what does it do? I read it. Somebody help her? Yes, Caleb?
Freezes or turns from a liquid to a
Solid. That's exactly right. If something freezes, it turns from a liquid to a solid. So make sure that you underline that. And then it says they melt or change to a liquid. So melt, we're going to circle the word melt and underline the word change to a liquid. Because that's the definition for melt. When something melts, it becomes a liquid from a solid. Not all things freeze or melt at the same temperature. Some liquids won't freeze in a freezer. A plastic bag won't melt if you leave it out. Why won't a plastic bag melt? Correct. It's not a liquid. A plastic bag is not a liquid, so it does not melt. Now it looks like this boy is enjoying a big bowl of ice cream. Raise your hand if you like ice cream. I like ice cream. That's good. Looks like he has 2 scoops of ice cream. But on the next page, it kind of looks like there's a spoon with some ice cream and it has a nuts and a cherry. And the ice cream looks like it melted. But the nut and the cherry in there, they didn't melt. Can somebody tell me why they didn't melt, Kayla?
Because they're solids.
That's right, because they're solids. And they can't melt, right? But the ice cream melted. The ice cream looks like soup now. Doesn't even look like ice cream. Now, on the side of page 129, just to sprinkle you guys with a little bit of math, it says, at what temperature will ice cream melt faster? We have 75 degrees or 45 degrees. Can somebody tell me what they think will melt fast? Yes?
I think 45.
Oh, she said 45. Do you guys think that that's correct? What number is higher? 45 or 75?
75.
Dominic, 75. So 75 degrees. And we also have another one, 50 degrees or 85 degrees. Which one would you choose? Yes? 85 degrees. Yes. Okay, now turning the page to 130. Jacob told me about this vocabulary word a couple minutes ago, and I must admit it is a little bit hard to pronounce. But I'm gonna have to talk to my two friends over here because they're not listening. I keep turning my head over here and you guys keep talking. Can I keep going now, please? Thank you. Okay. On page 130, it says time for a change. When matter is cut or broken, its size and shape changes. Matter also changes when it dissolves. That's the word that Jacob was trying to say. Dissolve. So I see the highlighted word again. So that's our vocabulary word. So what are we going to do? We're going to circle or put a triangle. We can do circle because we started with circles. It says dissolves or mixes completely with a liquid. So what is the definition for dissolves? We just talked about, yeah? Mixes completely with a liquid. That is the definition of dissolves. For example, sugar, for example, dissolves in water. It spreads out and seems to disappear. So, can you dissolve it into water? If you have lemonade and you put sugar into lemonade, do you think that it's going to disappear? Do you think that it's going to dissolve? Yes. The answer is yes. They kind of gave you that example there. Apples. Who doesn't like apples? We all love apples. If you were to cut an apple, what would happen? Would it change its texture? Would it change its... Yes. It would change its shape. So the answer is yes. And an egg. What happens when you make eggs? Can you break an egg?
Yes.
Yes, you can. So all those answers are yes. But now we're going to talk about some other examples as far as dissolving into water. First, salt. If you were to put salt into water, what do you think would happen? Would it dissolve, yes or no?
No. No. Because yes.
I hear some yeses and I hear some nos. I say yes. Raise your hand if you think yes. I think yes is the answer. Okay, because it turns into a liquid. Now the other example, spoon. Would a spoon do that?
No.
Because a spoon is a what?
Solid.
Solid. So the answer would be no. Now, these next ones, well, this next one in particular is kind of tricky. But can you cut a ruler?
Yes. Paper one.
Right. It depends on the kind of the ruler. If you were to get a saw or a big pair of scissors or something, it can be cut. So we're going to go with yes here. If you had a hard one, a real hard thick ruler and just a little pair of scissors, maybe not. But I think for this example, we're going to say yes. And this other one is easy. This is real easy because you guys do it all the time. Paper. Can you cut paper, yes or no? Yes, that's an easy one. I don't know. Olivia said these are all yeses. I don't know. We'll have to see. Can you break it? Well, we know that we can break an egg. How about a crayon? Can we break crayons?
Yes.
Well, I have broken crayons before. Sometimes when you're writing too hard or too fast, it might snap and break. Sure. And this is another one, just like the ruler, is kind of tricky. We can go yes or no with the eraser.
I pick no.
Can you break an eraser?
No. Only these
If you just drop it on the floor, it probably wouldn't break. But if you were really rough with it and tore it apart as fast as you can, you probably could. You can really go either way. So we'll put yes for that, okay?
I'll put no.
We'll put yes because technically speaking, it could. It would take a lot of work, but it could. Okay, we're going to turn the page to page 132. Can somebody read that top? What does that top say? Jacob, can you read that top for me? Get cooking. Ooh, do I love cooking. I love the barbecue. Who likes the barbecue? I like the barbecue, yes. Okay, so cooking. What is that? Get cooking. What is that up there? What informational text is that? Olivia?
Either heading or
Perfect. It is a heading or a title. Get cooking. You know that heat cooks food. Cooking changes the food. The wood or coals in a grill burn to help cook the food. Uh-oh. I see a highlighted word. I think we might have a vocabulary word. Burning means the changing of a substance into ashes and smoke. Cooking and burning are changes that make new kinds of matter. So we see the highlighted word. So what are we going to do to the highlighted word, Jacob? We're going to circle the highlighting word. And can somebody tell me the definition for burning? Kayla, what's the definition for burning?
Burning means the changing of a substance into ashes and smoke.
Kayla, that is great reading. Yes. Burning means the changing of a substance into ashes and smoke. At the bottom, it looks like a family is cooking, maybe shish kebabs or hot dogs or something. Cooking foods can change their color, their size, their shape, their texture, their smell, and their taste. Have you ever had hot dogs before you put them on the grill? Well, you can cook hot dogs a lot of different ways. But if you were to put them on the grill, they're soft, they're kind of flimsy. But if you put them on the grill and you cook them for a while, they get hard, they get juicy, change its shape, change its texture, sure.
Changes color. Where?
Changes color too. I like them crispy. I like them on the burnt side, so they change color. Okay, so on page 133 it says, write the change that is happening in each picture. So it looks like we have wood and then it's changing. Can somebody raise their hand and tell me what it's doing? What is the wood doing? Yes?
It burns.
It's burning. That's exactly right. I love that answer. The wood is burning and it's turning into ash. So we're going to write burning here.
That's the word of faith.
That's right. That is the definition on this page. Good job, Dominic. And eggs. We have eggs at the bottom. Olivia, what's happening with the eggs? That's perfect. That is the correct answer. The eggs are cooking. So we have the wood that's burning and turning into ash at the top, and we have the eggs. Somebody's frying the eggs, cooking on a frying pan. Okay, let's turn to the next page, page 134. One picture shows a new kind of matter being made. We have a picture of carrots. We have a picture of some grape pops. We have some chocolate bars that are broken up. And we also have a fire. So I want to know, instead of yelling out, Dominic, out of those pictures there, what picture shows a different kind of matter or something taking place? Yes?
The first one.
The first one. And what is happening there? You are correct, but tell me why.
The log is burning with the log.
That's exactly right. The logs are burning. So they're going to turn into what eventually? We just talked about it. Jacob, ash. Correct. You would use that if you're cold, like maybe if you're in the snow where it's cold outside and you want to warm up your house. That's how you do it. Okay, so everybody should circle the logs burning. And at the bottom here, it says draw something before and after it melts. So I want you to take a minute, and then I'm going to ask for some help. Draw something, think in your mind of something that's solid, and then after a while, it melts and it turns into something else. Take a minute and draw something, and I'll ask you about it very soon. Okay, wait a minute. Camera. Now, there's lots of examples that you could have used. I have a feeling that we're going to go with one predominantly. But can somebody... Yes, what did you choose? Ooh, I like that. I didn't even think about that one. I thought that you would choose something else. She chose a marshmallow. That's a very good choice. That's good. Yes, Kayla, what did you choose?
I drew first in the first circle ice cube, and then in the second circle I drew.
I knew it. That was the most popular. I was going to guess that too, but I like that you chose something different. Ice cubes, of course. Ice cubes. If you have ice cubes in the freezer, what? You put them in your juice or you put them in your water. It makes it nice and cold. But if you leave your ice water out, what happens to the ice cubes? Melts. Okay. All right. So what we're going to do now, I am going to put up some questions, and I'd like you to take a couple of minutes and answer these questions. What I'd also like when you answer these questions is to answer in complete sentence form. That means do not have one-word answers. For instance, number 1 says, what happens when you cut or break matter? If you're to write a complete sentence, you would write blank, blank, blank happens when you cut or break matter. Don't just write whatever the answer is. I'd like to see complete sentences. We have, Kayla, that's a great question. Kayla asks, where are we going to write that? You have your science notebooks in your desk? Bless you. Get out your science notebooks and please answer these questions. We have 4 questions. If you need to get up from your seat to get your science notebooks, go ahead and get them.